Music Talk Monday. We back. Yo, welcome back to Music Talk Monday. Alright, so man, listen, it's Black History Month, right? So what I'm gonna do is, you know what I mean, in celebration of the month, you feel me? I don't know why nobody's not doing anything. I don't really see too much of anybody doing anything, right? So I'm gonna say like this. If hip hop had a religion, it most definitely would be Islam or 5% Islam. Both same thing to me, right? But at the same time though, a lot of lyrics that came out in the 80s was pro-black. But before I get into that, this is what I want to show y'all, right? I'm about my business. I got my stickers, the QR code. You know what I mean? I post them up. They get scanned to my website. I get the stream count. You feel me? So I advertise, amongst other things. So check this out, right? I be stressing emcees read, yo. What y'all know about the art of war? Read books, yo. You know what I'm saying? Like being an MC, I learned so much from hip hop. It inspired me to read and do research, right? Also, the Egyptian Book of the Dead, right? We talk about the black man being God, so forth and so on. Like, show and prove. Like, what's your information? You know what I'm saying? Like, where you get your information from, right? You gotta read books, yo. Hold up. I support. I got the 50 of Law, 50 Cent's book. You know what I'm saying? You gotta read, yo. You know what I mean? A lot of you cats don't read. You don't have no books, and this is just a little bit from my library. Hold up, wait a minute. This book has many uses. Look at that. Y'all see it? Yeah. I read, yo. I read, right? I might start giving y'all chapters out the Wu Manual for real. All right? Check this out. Jay-Z's book. Right? You gotta read, yo. Hold up. It don't stop. Russell Simmons. Do you? Russell Simmons, do you? Damn. And I read these books. I've read these books. You know what I'm saying? I might even go back and refer to these books. You know what I mean? Like my pen game, yo, my vocabulary is so ill, yo. You know what I mean? With a lot of imagination, right? Now, I'm not saying you're not a true hip hop head if you don't have this book. Because technically the way everything is now, a lot of you niggas don't read and trying to start a movement. I don't be reading. No, I don't need to read. The gospel of hip hop. Yeah, you need this. You need to read. You really need to read. For real. You know what I mean? Do yourself a favor, go get this book. I talk to y'all about KRS-One all the time. You know what I'm saying? Go get the book. I ain't getting paid to advertise it. You know what I mean? So a lot of people, I don't know what type time y'all on. Cause when I talk about 5 mic MCs, this the type of shit that they made of. They read books, yo. There's no way of getting around it. Hip hop is about intelligence, yo. So for this Black History Month, you know what I'm saying? This is what I'm promoting. You feel me? I always promote intelligence anyway. But at the same time, it's like, yo, y'all got to read. You know what I'm saying? You got to read, baby. You got to read. You got to read, yo. You know what I mean? You got to read. This ain't all my books. This not all my books, yo. It's not all the books. I'm just showing you a couple of these joints. Hold up. And for all y'all talking about the Illuminati, Freemasonry, all that shit. Hold up, let me put these down for real, for real. It's a shame. And y'all probably didn't even know these books exist. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is with that. Hold up. Like I said, y'all talking this Freemasonry shit. I'm knocking shit over. Hold up. Wow. Man, listen, man. I talk about shit that I know. You know what I mean? And if I don't know, I'ma say I don't know. You know, you gotta study. You feel me? I'm just gonna open it up. Hold up. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta do the knowledge, yo. You know what I mean? There is information on the internet, yes. It's a lot of information on the internet, you feel me? But at the same time, if you don't get the books, you know what I'm saying? If you don't have the books, you know what I mean? You have to have the books. You gotta have the books. You gotta have the books. So when y'all be talking all that craziness, trying to talk about what you think you know what I'm saying? Like I said, yo, you gotta have the books. Hold up. Let me show you something real interesting real quick. I ain't gonna read it, I'm just gonna show it to you for real. See how deep your knowledge is when I show this. Leave a comment, like, share, subscribe, yo, hold up. Yeah. Like, share, subscribe. Hold up. When I tell you, I talk about what I know. This is your GOAT. Y'all see the GOAT? That's the GOAT. That's the GOAT, yo. That's your GOAT. Yeah. We celebrating Black History Month with information, you know what I mean? That's your GOAT. Once again, that's your GOAT, yo. That is your GOAT. Listen, and then as far as for like all this immigrant talk and everything, this is what I'm gonna say, yo. As far as for like my African brothers and sisters, yo. We've always supported y'all. Always, yo. Always. We never denied nothing about y'all. Never. Ever. Ever. Never ever. Right? Then on top of that, we had songs out to support back in the day. Right? Now, I'm gonna say one of the reasons why hip hop is so wild right now, the whole state of hip hop is so wild, because it's lacking knowledge of self. Knowledge of self is a big part of the culture. I learned about all this from listening to hip hop. It was a balance. hip hop was teaching me about who I am or who we are. So therefore, it's a rebellious culture, yes. It's revolutionary as well. It's edutainment, right? And you got good shit and you got bad shit, but that's balance. But there was songs out back in the day where it's like they were shunning the drug dealers. Like, nigga, you better keep that shit get that shit out my neighborhood. That shit ain't coming on my block. Take that shit elsewhere, whatever. Matter of fact, get the fuck out of here, right? That was hip hop. So it's mighty funny how we don't have anybody out here really like on a Public Enemy level, like a Poor Righteous Teachers level, a X-Clan level. The only ones that we have is like Wu-Tang, for real. Still spreading information, peace to the gods. And that's the other thing. The God talk come from the 5% Nation of Gods and Earths. Clarence 13X teachings, Father Allah, Him and Justice. So I'm just saying, yo, like, you have to know what you talking about when you dealing with this culture. This culture not, you know what I'm saying, what Young Thug is doing. This culture not what, you know what I'm saying, Lil Durk and them doing for real, to be totally honest with you. Like I said, everything has a place, but there was a balance in that information, that knowledge itself. Yo, I'm cooking, yo. Like I said, man, we gotta keep a balance. And balance was brought through hip hop in various ways. You had, hip hop is a street culture, so you had things from a street perspective for real. But at the same time, the streets respected the 5% Nation of Gods and Earths. The streets respected the Nation of Islam, right? So a lot of hip hop culture is Islamic. The foundation of it is most definitely Islamic. So, I mean, we could debate about it, but it's Islamic, right? So that's why you had Rakim Allah, Big Daddy Kane, Public Enemy. Ice Cube even went to the Nation of Islam. He cut the Jerry curl off. Shout out to my man Nick Soprano, because we was building on that yesterday. Shout out to Ronnie and man, you know what I mean? But yo, matter of fact, Ronnie and man, we was all at the mosque together, and we still building. Hip hop inspired us to become the intellectuals that we are today. When we say peace, God, that ain't some shit we just saying. It's meaning behind that. We have various degrees. We deal with 120 degrees of knowledge and then some. And hip hop spreads that information, especially through mixtapes, mix CDs or whatever. You can be wise and intelligent, yo. You know what I'm saying? Cause hip hop, that's what it generates. All this other shit, I don't, you know what I mean? Like, it's not anything that gives back. It's for the moment, right? But the people that did for the moment music was people like there was a song, the rapping Duke, Daha Daha, right? Who else? We could say a Vanilla Ice, right? We could say a Hammer, but Hammer get a pass. I ain't gonna get too deep into it, but Hammer get a pass. There were a lot of people that were just rappers that rap, that could rap. But as far as for, you know what I'm saying, that artist, that MC, That's something that had to be earned. Not something that you just roll out the bed, make some beats, record it, put it out, you know what I'm saying, Spotify, you know what I mean, go through your digital distribution platforms. Now you a hip hop artist. That shit, it don't work like that. You gotta put in work. You gotta put in hours for this. And like I said, a lot of you cats don't read. You know what I mean? It's a reason why Hove and them was talking that Masonic shit. You know what I mean? Even when it comes to the names that a lot of you guys pick these days, like, I mean, I understand certain things about how you grew up or what they call you from around the way and all that. But just on a deeper level, you know what I'm saying? Like, your name projects who you are. Your name is your energy. So just the name alone that you chose to be, you know what I mean, known by, that's the frequency you gonna give off. So when I heard Lil Wayne, when he first came out, Lil Wayne, I was like, what the fuck? That's what he chose to call himself? I mean, to each his own, don't get me wrong. But, alright. But somebody like, you know what I mean, a KRS-One, who's still here, you know what I mean? Somebody like a Method Man, a Ghostface Killer to be exact. You know, these names ring bells. Nas. You see what I'm saying? Like these frequencies that they give off, yo, they totally different. So, Biggie Smalls even, he got that name from a gangster from the 70s flicks. So everything has a meaning, yo. I'm 5%. Born king is my attribute. But then the other side, the Killer Fifth, is an acronym. Knowledge is lethal, Lord, always. The fifth is power from our supreme mathematics. Power refinement. Knowledge has the power to refine all things. You know what I mean? So when I come in, I'm building and destroying all the time. That's what I do. I make knowledge born. I manifest. So when I look at this game and I see who doing what, I'm just like, wow. I'm not here to correct nobody per se or whatever. I'm just saying, like, we got rules. So when somebody go outside the lines, you want to color outside the lines. That's when I step in. Like, yo, I'ma speak on it. I'm supposed to. Because not only are we artists in this game, we're protectors of it. We're protectors of the culture. For those of us that came in through the right way, who put the hours in, who put the work in. We got people that could vouch, that could speak for us. So I'm just saying. So for Black History Month, you know what I mean? I want to project the intelligence side of hip hop. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, peace to the nation of gods and earth. Peace to the nation of Islam. Those are the two dominant forces in hip hop. The respectable forces in hip hop. You had brothers listening to a lot of music back in the day and just decided to go to the mosque and started learning and started living life different. Learning economics from the mosque. Learning how to get a business, learning about yourself, learning how to eat right. Shit, even learning how to read. Learning how to dress proper, the proper attire for business. It helped build you up as a man, as a woman. How to be modest in what you deal with. So when you actually do get some success, You won't be all wild out here. That's why everybody run into that dark side that the mainstream has, is because they don't have knowledge of self. You have knowledge of self, you're not going that route. And if you do go that route, your circle should be those that have knowledge of self as well, so somebody could check your ass. So I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Like, peace to all the villains, man. I ain't gonna talk y'all head off for real. We gonna get into this content, right? So, you know, I mean, that's the problem. There's no knowledge of self in the game anymore. That's why Young Thug did his album cover the way he did it, because he don't have no respect for himself. You don't do no shit like that. That's why a lot of you dudes get tricked, because y'all don't know about terminology like tricknology. Knowledge is infinite, yo. Knowledge has no ledge. A ledge is an ending. So what are you talking about? Y'all don't read books. You got limitations off the break. That's why your music sound like that, because you don't have knowledge of self. You may think you do, but if you did, your ways and actions would show if you have knowledge of self or not. So like I said, man, I don't mess with that mainstream shit. A lot of you dudes is clowns, and you do anything for money and women. God don't act like that. So when I say peace, God, you know what I'm saying? That's who I'm talking to. Not talking to one of you 85ers out here. You uncivilized and self-proclaimed savages. Black History Month. I'm just saying, just for the spirit of it all. You know what I mean? Because I know a lot of you don't want to hear this shit. But just for the spirit of it all, I had to drop this jewel. All I'm saying is, once again, we had balance. You know what I mean? So, hip hop without knowledge of self, I'm pretty sure that was something that was pretty much on the agenda to be wiped out. Gotta take out the head first. All right, y'all. Like I said, yo, peace to all the villains. This Black History Month jump off, you know what I mean? Doing it how I'm supposed to. You know what I'm saying? Man. We gotta do better, yo. We gotta do better. All right, yo. Check this clip out.
Something
I'm out.
To me. This is the 5% episode. Doing the knowledge this episode. So we're gonna open up with the less rap, giving y'all the history of the 5% nation within hip hop. Then we're gonna give y'all hip hop legacy with one of the greatest 5%ers to ever do it on the mic, Rakim Allah. Then you know we're gonna give y'all some facts, some hip hop facts. Then we're gonna end it all off with You Gotta Hear This. A special You Gotta Hear This, giving y'all an interview. Don't really normally do that, but this is a special episode. Yeah, man. So in this week's segment of Let's Rap, we're discussing the history of the 5% nation within hip hop. While the teachings of the 5% nation may be foreign to most hip hop listeners, its presence in hip hop is far from foreign. But before we get into the history of 5% within hip hop, let's first discuss the origins of 5% in general. The 5% nation, also known as the Nation of Gods and Earths, was established by a man named Clarence 13X. Clarence 13X was born Clarence Smith, February 22nd, 1928, in Virginia. Upon honorable discharge from the U.S. Army in 1960, after service in the Korean War, Clarence attended a speech by Malcolm X at the Nation of Islam's Temple No. 7. Shortly after hearing the speech, Clarence joined the Nation of Islam and was renamed Clarence 13X. Clarence was an avid student of Malcolm X and of NOI literature and lessons. In 1963, Clarence 13X began teaching his NOI students that the black man collectively is the original man and God. He rejected the NOI doctrine that its founder Wallace Fard Muhammad was Allah. Between 1963 and 64, 13X left the Nation of Islam and founded the 5% Nation. A very quick breakdown of 5% lessons expresses that the black people of the earth are the original people, and therefore the mothers or earths and the fathers or gods of civilization. The 5% Nation teaches that supreme mathematics and the supreme alphabet, which were principles delivered by Clarence 13 Nets, are keys to understanding humankind's relationship with the universe. The 5% Nation also teaches that 10% of the people in the world know the truth of existence, and they operate to keep 85% of the world dumb, deaf, and blind and under the control of the 10%. The remaining 5% are those who know the truth and are determined to enlighten the 85%. 5% teachings were first introduced in hip-hop in the early 80s through groups such as the world-famous Supreme Team. It's also noted that hip-hop pioneer DJ Kool Herc studied 5% teachings. The 5% Nation, or the Nation of Gods and Earths, took center stage in hip-hop when Rakim and Big Daddy Kane hit the scene. Both of these brothers became superstars in the late 80s, and they were both 5%. Around this same time, groups such as Brand Nubian and Poor Righteous Teachers further ingrained the 5% Nation in the hip-hop culture. The Nation of Gods and Earths had a profound impact on hip-hop's first golden era. Many of the top artists were either affiliated with the gods or related the teachings through their music. Wu-Tang Clan is a well-known group of 5%ers, and Nas often spreads the teachings of Clarence 13 Nets, but is not a confirmed 5%er. Other 5%ers who started during the golden era include AZ, Busta Rhymes, Guru, and Just Ice. Considering the popularity of the Nation of Gods and Earths during the golden era, it's safe to say that the teaching somewhat lost its footing in hip-hop, with more artists opting for gangsterism or glamour rather than righteous teaching. Popular artists like Nas and members of Wu consistently spread the teachings, and Lord Jamar's 2006 release, the 5% album, was high level. In July 2013, Jay-Z released the Magna Carta Holy Grail album. This album contained heavy 5% references. On the track Crown, Jay raps, "You in the presence of a king, scratch that, you in the presence of a god." Then later says, "Ask if I was God. What I'm supposed to say, no?" On the track Heaven, he opens the first verse, "Arm, leg, arm, head, this is God body." Common language amongst the 5% Nation. Jay-Z and Jay Electronica are playing a major part in keeping the teachings alive in hip-hop, most evident from their 2020 album, A Written Testimony. While there have been negative characteristics placed upon the Nation of Gods and Earths, especially in regards to youth crime and prison gang designation, the information is so important and never more important than today, when more and more situations seem to be out of our control. You don't have to be a 5%er to study the lessons, but do your knowledge and do your research. You did? Yo. After researching Rakim in preparation for your dig and hearing him speak in person earlier this year, I think the best way I can describe him is as a humble giant. His aura is that of a super talented, yet regular dude. Rakim was born William Michael Griffin Jr. in Babylon, New York. His musical roots run deep. His aunt is a renowned R&B singer, Ruth Brown. His mother is a singer, and all of his siblings play instruments. Rakim grew up playing the saxophone and drums since the first grade. These facts definitely show in his cadence. He went through many transitions as a youth, but rapping was constant. His first rap name was Kid Wizard. Rakim was also a high school quarterback with scholarship offers, but he had to leave school to go on tour with his DJ Eric B and the likes of LL Cool J and Houdini. This tour happened in 1986. Also in 1986, he was introduced to the Nation of Islam and later joined the Nation of Gods and Earths. This is where he adopted the name Rakim Allah. On July 7, 1987, one of the greatest hip-hop albums of all time was released, Eric B and Rakim's Paid in Full. The album featured classics like I Ain't No Joke, I Know You Got Soul, My Melody, Eric B for President, and Paid in Full. The other tracks on the 10-track album are all heavy DJ cuts, but the songs starring Rakim are all classics, certifying this one as one of the greatest albums ever. Their sophomore album, Follow the Leader, was released a year later in July. It was regarded as a more coherent album, as Eric B and Rakim's chemistry had grown even stronger. The album didn't go platinum like their debut, but is still recognized as one of the greatest albums of all time. Bangers from this album include the title track Follow the Leader, Microphone Fiend, and Lyrics of Fury. This album was primarily produced by Paul C., who was murdered while working on the album. His protege, Large Professor, helped finish the production efforts. Let the Rhythm Hit 'Em was one of the few albums to receive 5 mics from the source, and like the sophomore album, it also went gold. Standouts from this album include the title track Let the Rhythm Hit 'Em, In the Ghetto, which contained heavy 5% lessons, Run for Cover, and Eric B. Made My Day. The group's final studio album, Don't Sweat the Technique, was released the summer of 1992. This album would see Eric B. to take the lead on production again and would also offer a more aggressive Rakim with even more social commentary and more social consciousness. The Don't Sweat the Technique album featured the song Know Your Ledge, which is the title track for the movie Juice. After the group dissolved, Rakim didn't release his solo album until more than 5 years after Don't Sweat the Technique. His debut solo album, The 18th Letter, was released in November 1997. The album debuted at number 4 on the Billboard 200 and is highly regarded amongst Rakim fans. He followed this effort up in November 1999 with the release of The Master. In 2000, Rakim signed with Dr. Dre's Aftermath Entertainment and immediately began working on the album. This album was tentatively titled Oh My God. While in Aftermath, Rakim appeared on Truth Hurt's hit single Addictive, produced by DJ Quick, and Jay-Z's The Watcher 2, which was produced by Dr. Dre. After years of creative differences with Dr. Dre, he left the label in 2003 and the album was shelved. He was able to retain the tracks he recorded with Dr. Dre and began working on this album in 2006. The album would not be released until 2009 and was entitled The Seventh Seal. In the 2010s, there were frequent rumors that Rakim was going to make his return with a new project, but still to this day, these are just ideas that have yet to come to fruition as we still await the return of the R. As for Rakim's current accolades, he is often referenced as the greatest MC of all time. He is number 1 according to The Source and number 2 according to About.com. MTV rated the Paid in Full album the greatest hip-hop album of all time as of 2006. His style has influenced most, if not all, of the greats. Nas, Tupac, Biggie, Jay-Z, members of Wu-Tang all attest to Rakim's influence on their style. In 2019, Rakim authored and released his first book, Sweat the Technique, Revelations on Creativity from the Lyrical Genius. Rakim continues to impact the culture more than 30 years after dropping his debut classic, Paid in Full. And at the youthful age of 52, who knows what he might do next. Big shouts out to one of the greatest MCs of all time, the God MC and lyrical genius, Rakim. Thank you for paving the way for artists like myself and so many others, you dig? Yeah. So we're gonna hit y'all with some facts this week, some hip hop facts. All the facts we're hitting y'all with is actually related to the 5% Nation. Like I said, this is the 5% episode. So go ahead and give y'all some more information on the 5% Nation. Did you know that hip hop slang such as dropping jewels, peace, and son originate from the 5%'s influence on hip hop? Fact 2. Nas recorded New York State of Mind off the Illmatic album in one take. He wrote the original 60-bar verse in the studio the same day he recorded it. Fact 3. Raekwon, born Corey Woods, got his rap name from the name he was given when he was a part of the Nation of Islam. Fact 4. Nas was the only non-Wu-Tang member featured on Raekwon's debut album, Only Built for Cuban Links. And fact 5. In RZA's opinion, Ghostface's verse on the song Impossible from the Wu-Tang Forever album is the greatest Wu-Tang verse ever written. So that's 5 hip-hop facts for you. Some you might have already known, most you probably didn't. But you know what you did, gonna get that good info regardless. Oh, that's a wrap on another episode of You Dig. That was the 5% episode, man. I know y'all learned something on that one. If you ain't know nothing about the Nation before, you definitely got a better understanding now for sure. So we got into the Let's Rap with the history lesson on the 5% Nation's presence in hip-hop. Then we got the hip-hop legacy on the God MC Rakim. Then you know we had to give y'all some hip-hop facts, all on related to the 5% Nation, giving y'all more understanding. Now y'all know we gonna end with You Gotta Hear This. This week we doing things a little bit different with a special edition interview coming from the God MC himself, Rakim Allah. So go ahead and kick back. This is a 1993 classic interview done by Chuck D from Public Enemy. Make sure y'all following everything we're doing. That's at Rhymes Designs on IG, on Twitter. Go ahead and catch that merch. That's thatrnd.com. Subscribe on YouTube. Make sure y'all just catch in and tune in with everything we doing, man. Tap into your dig. Yeah, man. So this is the classic interview from the God Rakim Allah. Thank y'all for tuning in. Big shouts out to you.
I got into the Nation of Islam in 1986. You know, what inspired me is, you know, I was at the point where I needed something to, you know, uplift my world as far as, you know, I had to go to the next level. You know what I'm saying? I was tired of running in the streets. You know, I just needed something, you know, to give me a little more self-esteem. And that's what it did. And I'm the type of brother, I couldn't keep a job. You know what I'm saying? I work for about 2 or 3 weeks, get a check, and I'll move on. You know, so like I said, at that point, I needed Islam, you know, slow me down a little bit and take life a little more serious, you know. Once you deal with the mental, you know what I'm saying, and everything else speaks for itself. Once you tell somebody, you know, how powerful their mind is, and they think about it, then they start to utilize it, you know what I'm saying? Then they realize, you know, man, I can do this. I ain't got to ask, you know, I ain't got to put my hands together and look up and ask nobody for a job. I'm going to get up and I'm going to go get a job or do what I got to do, you know, to make ends meet. I concentrate on it all the time, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like what I do when I'm writing, I'm putting down my life, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, I don't believe in writer's block, so when I get to the point where, you know, I'm getting slow on the ink, I just put the pen down, then I go back out in the world and live. So, you know, I'm not rhyming, I'm just thinking, you know what I'm saying? So when I get back to the paper, I got more life to put down. I try to keep everything dealing with, you know, reality, you know what I'm saying? Just things that take place. Like I can be riding up a block, you know, somebody that's sitting next to me that's riding with me might, you know, think it's just a regular block. But, you know, what I see is like, you know, I see the way a kid is walking up the block, and I try to think about what he's thinking about, you know what I'm saying? If I see a kid walking real slow, I can put it in a, you know, rhyme form, you know what I'm saying, his feelings. You know what I'm saying? I can see an area that's like burnt down or whatever, you know what I'm saying? What I try to do is picture life before it burnt down and where the people that was staying there, you know, what happened to them when it got, you know what I'm saying? It's like I try to look through things and, you know, come up with something different. Or I'll be, you know, I be cooling. You know, they be bugging on me because I be cooling. But, I don't know, you know, probably the lyrics, you know, people listen to the lyrics and they be saying that, you know, I be violent, you know, but I use metaphor, you know what I'm saying? If I say I'm going to shoot you in the head, I'm going to shoot you in the head with a rhyme. You know what I'm saying? So some people just say, oh man, you know, your Rod's living kind of trifle. You know what I'm saying? But I use metaphor. It's like sometimes when you gotta express a point, you can't express it no better by saying, you know, you can't say, yo, I'm gonna put this rhyme in your head. You know what I'm saying? I say something like, yo, I'm gonna pull out and bust you in your head. You know what I'm saying? So it's like helping me explain things a little more better. Nah, there's nothing glamorous about being a gangster, you know, because it's not really dealing with reality. It's like, you know, trying to be hard and, you know, take territory or whatever you're dealing with. You know, there ain't nothing glamorous about that.
All right, we about to get into these shout outs, you feel me? Jay Watts was good, Daily Vision, Locker Room ENT, BMG was good, Bag Life, yo, Born Divine, Indie Boom, Wu-Tang Management, Protect Your Neck Records, DJ DC Hollywood, Rest in Power, my guy, Bag Life's Dynasty, Sonia Davis, Taylor BTV was good, Queen, Baltimore, Tia Tuesdays, Bag Life Shirts, A-Ville was good, fam, Jimmy Mills was good, fam, Kick Across was good, my man Danny, Ayo T was good, Nick Soprano was good, Randall, Iron Temple was good, fam. Neef, Coda, holla at me. DJ Main, DJ Frank Cola, Wisdom Beats, Sean Torre, Colada, Dr. Dunny, Balti Mega, Singar Superior, Young Damo, Mr. Diesel Fuel TV, Street Legal Entertainment, All the Villains, Amon, Ricky Jacobs, GQ was good. Shouts out. Peace to everybody, you feel me? And yo, we gotta keep it moving, protect the gate, we gotta gatekeep all that, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to all the villains once again. We out.
Bag Life Villains, nigga.